Welcome to the studio at African Utility Week and Power Gen Africa. Today I am speaking with Ric Amansure and we're going to be talking about power strategy building blocks. Welcome, Ric.
Excellent. Welcome. Well, thank you.
The first question that I have is I just want to delve into your opinions around what the fundamental building blocks are to unlock private investment.
Well, firstly, certainly from my point of view in terms of social development, is creating a stable environment within the country, within the local community where the projects are targeted to be. Because that sends a message that your project is safe, that it will be done on time, and that during operations and maintenance you'll have a kind of a low stress, stress-free kind of period. And that is sometimes overlooked because community and community development is not high on the agenda of the technicians and then certainly on the side of investors and funders. So yeah, that would be one of the fundamental building blocks. Stability, local community buy-in, social license, just getting people to understand what the project is about.
Right. So once an investor and a developer have decided to go and work on a project, they need to look at the community.
Right.
So building in terms of stakeholder management.
That's right.
What is your advice around that?
So certainly before anything happens on the ground, it's just to educate the community about what actually is happening. Very humorous anecdote is about communities around the wind farms. Firstly, they don't call them wind turbines, they call them windmills.
Oh.
And when they finally generate the electricity, they wonder why the electricity is not coming to them directly, why it's going to Eskom, then the municipality, and then they have to pay for it. Because they think when you have a wind turbine or a wind farm, they're going to get free electricity. So a lot has to do with educating the community, just informing them about the technology, informing them about the impact on the environment, informing them about impact on their own lives, talking about job creation and the limitations around that. Because there's a perception that when you start the project, you're going to have like thousands of jobs. And a typical wind farm may only offer between 400 and 600 jobs, and that's only for 2 years. So what do you do with those people once the job comes to an end? Not to mention all the influx of people from other communities, also with the expectation that they're getting jobs. So education is fundamental, and then once you've educated people, then tell them what they can benefit from this, not only in the short term in terms of job creation, but also in terms of skills development, how this can carry them through for other possible job opportunities. And then also the most important side of it, tell them about the corporate social investment. Tell them what this company is going to be investing in that community to grow that community and to grow the local economy. And that would mean then in the end, better standard of living, changed lifestyles, and of course more jobs.
Right. And the communication needs to be very clear.
Very clear and a very simple sort of local understanding of what's going on. Not that local people are less intelligent. They're pretty clued up. They may rather suffer from miscommunication in not understanding the technology, in not understanding how they fit into the whole scheme of things. That's where the miscommunication comes in.
Exactly.
There's a sort of an expectation that they've either learned from other people, watched on TV, or just thought to themselves what it might be. It's just important to clear that up for people.
Exactly. And you spoke about job creation, but I want to rather speak about skills development. We have an energy transition that's happening. So
Yes.
in your view, what are the skills that are needed? Where are we lacking, and where should youngsters sort of target themselves for a career development?
So there are two categories there. The one is socio-economic development and job creation within that space. And then there's entrepreneur or enterprise development. So you're looking at the local economy, and this is why it's so important to understand the local economy, to understand the local makeup of the community. And that you do through things like asset profiling and needs assessment. But just to get an understanding of where that community is at in terms of the economic growth, Because if you introduce skills that don't fall within that need, those local people are going to find jobs somewhere else, and so they're not going to grow the local economy. So it's important to understand what skill sets are lacking, and here you're looking at probably entrepreneurship skills. They have very sort of basic skills development courses that you can offer. The kind of industries, local industries, if it's an agricultural community, it would be in the agricultural sector, would be in the tourism sector, would be in the local business sector, things such as skilled tellers, skilled clerks and basic accountants. So understand the local need and then introduce skills development to build the local need. And that would be a good starting point.
Fantastic. It's a different way of looking at the communities where you're going to be developing your project.
Yes, certainly. Because we're dealing with technicians, we're dealing with funders, we're dealing with investors. They're not social workers. They don't understand necessarily the needs of a local community. And in a place like South Africa, and certainly in Africa, where you have cultures and subcultures, where you have different authorities, from chiefs to headmen to people that are in charge, right down to the ward councillor who has a huge say in the community. It's very difficult for contractors and certainly developers to engage with that community. It's multifaceted, it's complex, and so you need skilled people to understand the local environment, understand where these people are at, and then decide how you're going to engage with them.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Ric.
Excellent, my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel now for more industry-related content.